Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won.
Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won.
Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won.
Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won.
Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won. Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won. Sing and the battle is won. Sing and the battle is won.
Let's hear Swamiji now.
On the one hand, our environment, the kind of vibrations, the magnetism of the people around us, these things have a very great influence upon us. If you mix with negative people, Ramakrishna used to say, you can't peel an onion without your hands smelling. And the same thing is if you mix with negative people, with the best will in the world, you'll still become negative, unless you're a very strongly positive person. But the law of magnetism is such that if you have not got a stronger magnetism than they, in which case you will influence them, in their environment, and of course several people all add to a larger magnetism than one person. So you mix with negative people rather than one negative person, and you're sure to come away smelling of something. It just happens. That's why good environment is so important. That's why Master said something that I'm afraid that we don't follow, and it would be very difficult to follow, and yet it's definitely valid. He told us not to eat in restaurants. Life at Ananda would be bleak unless we could go to a restaurant occasionally. But if we can't live up to what he said, let's at least not pretend he didn't say it. He used to go, I remember going out with him, and he would take a little box of nuts and fruits and dried fruits and so on, and he would sit in the car, even if when he sent the others into the restaurant, he wouldn't go. Because he was trying to set this example of not going into those heterogeneous places, vibrations, for two reasons. One, that when you eat the food that's been cooked by people of a lower vibration, you take their vibrations into your own self. Secondly, when you're eating, you're in a psychological mode to absorb on all levels. And so that when you sit in a place with people who are of all sorts of worldly consciousness, if you're sitting there in a train station, you can pretty well wrap yourself in your own peace and not be affected by them. But when you're sitting in a public place of eating, a restaurant, and taking food in, you're also taking in, on subtler levels, the vibrations of the people around you.
Good morning again. Welcome to everyone. I'd like to just begin with a brief reading by Master on the mental diet. We must remember that good thoughts are nourishing food for the mind, and the thoughts of any other nature are poisonous to the mind and body. Have you ever analyzed your mental diet? It consists of the thoughts you think as well as the thoughts you receive from close thought contact with your friends. Peaceful thoughts and peaceful friends always produce healthy, magnetic minds. Inner disquiet and worries due to the wrong sorts of friends or unappreciative relatives produces an unwholesome, gloomy mind. Try working on your mental diet. This is such a wonderful and important topic. And you could see from the music and Swamiji's talk, Ananda has so much joy. And there's so many ways to keep our mind, to keep our thoughts pure, purified, uplifted, positive, energetic, magnetic. And from all the wonderful readings that we have of masters and Swamijis and the lessons and the affirmations and all the beautiful music, and as we sing this music and we chant it, it just is so uplifting. And Swamiji said he wrote his music to attune to the vibration of Om. And you feel that your whole soul is, your cells are being fed with the vibrations from the music. And sometimes when I'm reading some of Masters or Swamiji's words, I just feel it's such a blessing that my eyes can look at these beautiful words and phrases and take the vibration. My brain can take the vibration into my whole consciousness, into my whole being. And they're holy books. You think of the reading Autobiography of a Yogi, Essence of the Bhagavad Gita. What a blessing to even be able to draw those vibrations in. And you think of the wonderful things that we can read or we can see, or even in nature, when you go out, when I go in the park, I just immerse myself in the vibrations of looking at the trees and the flowers, and you think of the opposite of that, of something that's chaotic, disorganized, low vibration, negative. You're taking that into yourself, and people do that all the time. And so just as we feed ourselves good food and nourishing food physically, we have to feed our minds nourishment, good vibrations, power, light, energy, that we can stay focused and we can stay mentally balanced. And that's another part of it. You may think, well, it's not going to worry me, but it might later, depending on what all you put in your mental diet. And so I want to go through the different places that we have in our homes and in our own minds as well, and work on how can we change the mental diet? How can we make all around us more uplifting, more magnetic, more beautiful, more godly? And so I was thinking first of our meditation room. It should be so magnetic and beautiful. Think of the thoughts in your meditation room. They should be so much of God and prayerful and devotional and calling to God, and to chant in there. All those wonderful chants of masters and Swamijis, those words are just all in the ether. In your meditation room, there was an incident with Dr. Lewis on an experience of God. And his mother had told him to do a particular thing. This when he was a little boy, and he was on the landing, and his mother said, "You must come and do this." And he said, I don't want to do it. And a voice from everywhere, nowhere said, "Mind your mother." And he looked around and couldn't see anything. And he said his mother heard the voice as well. interestingly enough, when Master went to Dr. Lewis's house, he was going up the stairs and he stopped there at the landing. He said, right here, you had an experience of God, didn't you? And Dr. Lewis told him what happened. And so these thoughts are registered all around you, in the walls of your house, in the floor, in the ceiling, in the ether, everywhere. So imagine in your meditation room, the vibrations that are coming out of that room. And every time you go there, those vibrations are just lifting you up so that you can meditate more deeply. You can contact God more. So keep it magnetic, keep it beautiful with flowers and candles and whatever, incense. And you see how beautiful this altar is here. And make it a magnetic place. So when you go in there, you feel the presence of God. Then I was thinking about the kitchen. When you go in there, it's a nurturing environment, isn't it? It's a vibration of love, of social, of family, of nourishment. And as Swamiji just said, it's very important. The cook should be happy. The cook should be uplifted. The cook should have good vibrations and put that in the food. I remember Leela, who was cooking for Swamiji, and he didn't have anybody else cooking for him unless she had to be gone for some reason. But it was like he was cooking through her and preparing the food, and she did it just the way Swamiji wanted. It wasn't, the taste was delicious, but the vibration was just right. I remember someone brought a dessert for Swamiji. This was many, many years back, and it was at the Crystal Hermitage at Ananda Village. And Leela had shared that dessert with Swamiji, and he took one taste of it and he said, who made this dessert? This person was in communion with God. They were uplifted. And so he felt the vibrations in the food, and you feel the vibrations. That's why mother's cooking is so wonderful, because her love is there. And so make sure that the person who's cooking for you, even for yourself, don't just sort of make it, cook with love and upliftment, chant while you're cooking. It's just a wonderful way to add God's vibrations. And when you eat, don't just eat. I see a lot of people never pray before they eat. Pray, how did you get the food? There'll maybe be times when we won't have anything to eat. We should be praying that, thank you, God, for giving me this food to eat, for nourishing my body. Thank you. Don't just start eating, especially someone on the spiritual path. Just think everything is a gift from God. And then in the bedroom should have peaceful, quiet vibrations. It shouldn't be, I put my computer on the bed and I'm working here today on my bed. And I mean, once in a while, if you have to do that, but really keep that vibration out. And, oh, I'm going to watch the news in my bedroom. I mean, you can if you want, but just remember that vibration is staying in. And then people wake up in the middle of the night, they have a nightmare, they're walking or talking in their sleep or whatever, because of the wrong vibration in your bedroom. It should be quiet, it should be inward, it should be peaceful. And then in your living room, the living room is a social, it's a family room. First of all, what do you do in there? What do you do? And so if you're watching movies, make sure the movies are not heavy. They're not negative. They don't pull the energy down. Swamiji used to watch movies from time to time. It was typically a Walt Disney movie. And we saw Bambi many times because he didn't enjoy the movies out there. And don't just watch it because it's popular. And why, and with music, why listen to Rajasic music? Why? I've got in some people's cars and the music was bum, 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 bum. And I said, I know you're just not listening. No, Dhyanaji, I'm not listening. I said, well, it's on your speaker here. You must be listening to that, and be careful. So in your home, play videos, movies that are clean, that are inspiring if you can, maybe biographies or nature movies, or and listen to music that's uplifting. It could be classical, it could be Ananda music, I think is the best. But, music that's healing, that's calming. Because if you get too much rajas going, we're already living in a rajasic time, on a rajasic planet, as Swamiji said. If you get too much rajas going, then you're stressed out, you're tense, and then you're doing that at work, and you come home and you watch a movie that's stressed, tense, and then you eat food that's it doesn't have good vibrations, and it's got a lot of masala in it, seasoning, hot seasoning, and then you wonder what's wrong. And so in your living room, going back to that, make sure that it has a nice, clean vibration. It's uplifting. The colors are nice. Colors are important, and maybe you have plants. The music is nice that you play in there. The movies, and everything has an uplifting vibration. Maybe you have beautiful paintings. I have some beautiful paintings of Jyotishji here in the house, and also of Dana Anderson. They're beautiful, and I look at them and I'm so happy that they're there. And I remember Swamiji saw one painting at a house, and this was in Italy many years back, and it was an expensive painting. It was a woman who was depressed. She was kind of looking like this, and Swamiji said, why would a person have that in their house? Do they want to look like that woman? And so think about what you have. Be conscious is what basically the mental diet is about. Be conscious what you have in your house, what you watch, what you listen to, what you see. Be conscious of the colors around. Be conscious of how you look yourself, the colors that you wear. Black isn't a color that's uplifting, let's face it. And heavy colors pull your energy down. And I saw something that I just thought it was just so bad, but maybe I'm just old-fashioned these days. But I saw people in a hotel, they were wearing their pajamas in the lobby. And I just thought, oh God, that's not a thing, that trend now that people do. They wear their pajamas. Maybe they do. They were nice pajamas, but they were still pajamas. And I just thought, God, I saw a man in the elevator the other day here where I live, and he had on his pajamas. It was at the middle of the day in the elevator. I just thought, gosh, can't you get dressed? It's 12 o'clock. And so just think about it. These are creating who and what you really are, everything around you. And so take the time to be conscious and improve on your mental diet. I think I covered all the rooms, the meditation room, the kitchen, so the living room, and also the bedroom. And now I want to go into the worry fast. If Nitendra would put that up on the screen. Master talked about worry and how to get rid of it. And I like to do this with you. He says, no matter how busy you are, do not forget occasionally to free your mind completely from worries and all duties. Dismiss them from your mind. Remember, you are not made from them. They were made by you. That's interesting, isn't it? Do not allow them to torture you. Anytime you are tired or worried, inhale. Let's do this together. Inhale intense. Then throw the breath out and relax. Let's do it again. Now remain without thought or breath for a few moments. Close your eyes. Remain without thought or breath. Now, let go of your worries. Enter into absolute silence every morning and night, Master says. Try to remain for 1 minute at a time without thinking, especially if you're worried. Then try to remain several minutes with a quiet mind. Visualize some happy incident in your life. mentally go through the pleasant experience over and over again until you forget your worries entirely. But just for a moment, we can't do this for a long time today. Let's keep that on the screen for another minute. Just for a moment, feel yourself centered within, close your eyes, and think of some worry in your life now. Just for a moment. Now think of some happy or pleasant experience you've had. Could be recently, it could have been a while back. And feel the joy welling up in your heart, the happiness, maybe a smile is coming onto your face as you recall that time. And let that wash away the worry. See it being dissolved. Now I'd like to go into an affirmation of masters. We can take this off now and bring up the affirmation. This is a very powerful affirmation. Feel the Guru with you as we do it together. First out loud, and then more and more quietly. I will, with my own will, repeat, which flows from the divine will, to be happy, to be well, to be prosperous, to be spiritual, to be well, to be well. I will, with my own will. I will, with my own will, which flows from the divine will, to be happy, to be well, to be prosperous and spiritual, to be well, to be well. I'll take this mentally, but deeply, gazing up at the spiritual eye. I will with my own will, which flows from the divine will, to be happy, to be well, to be prosperous, to be spiritual, to be well, to be well. Rub your hands together. And let's put this dynamic thought into our consciousness for our mental diet today. Ooh. Ooh. Shanti, shanti, shanti. We have time for just a couple questions. I'll ask an attender to join me on the screen.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. These questions look not so relevant now after doing this exercise.
So just give the ones that you would think are relevant.
Sure, Dhyanaji. No, I meant after doing this exercise, it seems that these questions do not exist.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah. So the first question, Dhyanaji, is I have friends and close ones who tend to gossip a lot. So when we talk, the energy actually goes down. And I don't like that feeling, but I don't want to be rude to my friends. So what should I do in those circumstances?
Try to change the topic. I've been in those situations where maybe it wasn't gossip, but it wasn't helpful. Try to move the energy up, add something that will pick the energy up in the conversation. And then also watch who you're with. If you're with gossipy people, like Swamiji said, Ramakrishnaji said, it's like peeling onions, your fingers will smell. And so watch who you're with. I was with an old friend once, and the energy started going way down. She was a college friend, and I just thought, I don't think I want to be around her. That's not my vibration anymore. So watch who you're with as well.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Maybe we can take 2 more questions.
Okay.
The first one is, how can I lift myself up out of a negative space? I know it is not good for me, but sometimes I can't get out of it, especially when there are a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think the worry fast, the mental diet, all these things we talked about today, the books that you read are important, the music you listen to, the television, and social media is killing people. I just think, just do enough, but don't go into it so much as your whole life is virtual. Get outside. I mean, we can't really see many people in person today, but don't have your whole life be on social media. Oh, look, she's looking beautiful. Where are they? They're on vacation. Oh, you know, it goes on and on. It's just, don't live your whole life like that. Watch that, and you will find that there's many other things you can do that are much, much more uplifting.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. We have a live question. In case if a family is living in a small house and people are sharing all the spaces, and then you do not have a separate place to do your activities, so how should we maintain good vibes in such an environment?
Yeah, well, I lived in ashrams for most of my life with lots of people. You have to carve out a space that's your own, where you meditate, or maybe you get up earlier, maybe you stay up late, maybe you go to the park, maybe you go to the library, maybe you go to some place where, you know, cafe or somewhere where you get some space of your own. You can't be with a lot of people all the time. You need some space for yourself. And so that's what I would say.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. We can squeeze in one more question.
Okay.
This is, since COVID started, I feel mentally a bit down.
Yeah.
Our lives have been put on hold since COVID. So how can we get through this period without being negative or feeling down?
Yeah. That's a good question, and it's not easy. You have to work at it, is all I can say. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I just can't take it another day. Just this COVID, and I can feel a dip starting to happen, and I won't allow it. I say, I just can't go down. I can't. I have too much to do for others to go down. And so maybe I'll break out of the house and take a walk, or put on some music, or get on a talk. You got to work at it. You can't just say, oh God, okay, COVID, come to me. You know, you can't do it. You have your family, your children, your job, you have your guru bhais. And so you got to, it's a battle. You have to fight the battle of life. If you give in, then you won't be able to make it. So all these tools that we have, I don't know who has more tools than us. I mean, it's a huge toolbox with so many things you can do, but people tend to shove it to the side and just sink down. Don't allow yourself, because you have to get back up. And if the deeper you sink, the harder it's going to be to get back up. So as soon as I feel anything like that, no, I'm not going there. And do this affirmation, I will, with my own will. You got power behind you. And if you let things bring you down, it's COVID, then it's going to be something else, and it'll be something else, and it'll be something else, and something else, and something else. So we have to know that the answers don't lie out there. The answers lie in yourself, your own strength, your own connection with God. Take Divine Mother by the hand and say, I'm walking with you. Take the gurus, I'm walking with you. And then you'll realize that life is a dream. It's a tough dream. Master said it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. You think, oh, I'm having fun. You're not having fun. The next minute, everything collapses. The economy collapses. The health collapses. Somebody dies in your family. Your health goes bad. You know, it's so many things. So our only assurance is in ourselves, and that's God alone, God alone. And the more we affirm that, then things are always going to be there. But our true life is in God, and it's inside. So I hope that's helpful.
Thank you, Dhyanaji.
Okay. Thank you, Nitendra. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.